Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, what percentage of Targaryen blood do you need in order to fly a dragon? Subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we are reviewing HBO's Game of Thrones House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 7, The Red Sowing, the penultimate episode, and I gotta say, I was expecting a little more fighting. Not so much, as much innocent humans being burned for their lottery ticket to be the dragon rider, but yeah, I thought there was going to be some combat. And at the very end, when we saw Aegon on Vhagar flying directly toward Dragonstone, I was like, don't be stupid, dude. You are making a huge mistake. Don't be dumb. And then he immediately realizes it, and, you know, Rhaenyra's just standing there with a 1,000-yard stare. I'm going to murder you. It was great. All right, so this episode was directed by Lonnie Peristier. Great job. Written by David Hancock, and it premiered yesterday, the 28th. And let's walk through this. Good stuff has been happening on this Game of Thrones. I know people complain, but they complain about everything, so screw them. Rhaenyra flies out on her dragon to confront Adam, who is just not me. It should have been me. We only look slightly different anyway, so figure a little bit of makeup and anyway. Meets the dragon rider, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing with that dragon?" And he's like, "My queen, I didn't. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. It came to me, and I just want to serve the crown. And you're the rightful ruler, so please don't kill me." Like all I know is ships, and then this dragon showed up. And he was like, "Get on my back or die." And what are you going to do? You can't say no to a dragon. So I got on his back, and then he flew me here, which was pretty fun. It was a great flight. I mean, I figure my acting is as good as his was, right? No? All right. Well, in any case, I love the scene because Rhaenyra, thinks he's doing, something against her house. And she doesn't realize that he's literally a victim here of dragon theft. Like, this dragon kidnapped Adam. He had no say in the matter. And so she's like, well, wait a second. How is this even possible? Who's your parents? Do you have any Targaryen blood? Like, this makes no sense. There's this whole mythology that the Targaryens created about themselves that now they just believe. And that's that they are gods. The Targaryens are gods, and dragons are gods, and so only gods can ride gods, right? It's the most nonsensical, ridiculous, and anyone who ever says they're a god is obviously lying, because all gods were made up. They're all fake, just like this show. It's made up, not real. So, hey, Chris, how you doing, man? So, she's trying to figure out how it is possible that a non-god could possibly ride a dragon when only gods are supposed to do that. And meanwhile, she's already been searching like the annals of genealogy to find whatever half-breeds might be able to mount these dragons. And so in her head, she's thinking either he must have some like long, deep buried bloodline that I don't know about, or maybe we're not so special after all. And anyone can just ride a dragon. Like, it's got to be crossing her mind. Meanwhile, all of us at home are just like, no, Corlys Velaryon. That's why. He's the bastard son. We all knew it from episodes ago. I know I've been mentioning it every single episode that it comes up. So, of course, the Velaryons and the Targaryens always interbred in Old Valyria. So there's got to be some Targaryen blood. Just because his older brother is a little bit more sea snake than he is Targaryen, dragon rider, doesn't mean that Adam can't be a dragon rider. Adam wants to be a dragon rider. Adam also refers to himself in third person sometimes. Adam needs some loving by a dragon while I'm flying it. It'll be fun. All right, anyway. So that was pretty awesome because Adam literally just swore fealty to her. That means she has one more dragon. And right now we're doing a numbers game because no army can stand up to dragons. But Team Green, the Hightowers, have Vhagar, the oldest, most powerful dragon. So you need at least 2, And if you really want to hedge your bets, get like 3 or 4 dragons or 5 dragons and have them all confront, squash Vhagar as a threat, and then you can just dominate all of Westeros. No one will stop, no one would be able to stop you in that particular case. And so, she's doing the numbers game of just trying to get more and more people. Comes up with this idea. Mysaria tells Rhaenyra, in order to search for dragon seeds, which is just bastard Targaryens, because we know every Targaryen boy loves to go visit the brothel, as we all do. Right? Am I the only one? No? And you have just a bunch of bastard children. That's part of life, is what I call it. It's normal. It's a Tuesday night. Tomorrow. So they're going off and just dipping their rod in any pond that they can dip it in, leaving the eggs behind. This metaphor isn't working. In any case, they have a lot of bastard kids, and Mysaria is like, hey, how about we just throw a party, a bastard ball, and let's get every one of these bastards up in here, and we'll just do it like a 1-to-1 thing. We'll just do it like a lottery. We'll put the dragon in front of him, and he'll just pick, and it'll be great. And so the most ridiculous setup, by the way, and yet they do it. They're like, okay, we'll send out invitations. Let's see who RSVPs. And they get like a good 25, 30 people. How you get out of the Red Keep or Old Town or any of that area when it's locked down, I don't know. And how you can get that many people out of that area to go to the same exact place without being seen baffles my mind. Because they should have all been seen and killed instantly. I could see one person. I could see you smuggling out maybe 3 people. But 30 people? I don't think so, Tim. No way. But they did. And so they all get to Dragonstone. And they're all having this really weird, when you start your first job, you ever work a fast food joint? And they have a corporate video, this is what this company means. And this is how you make, do what you do in your job. And it's the most horrible sort of introduction to the company. That's what they got. They walked into this dark, dank cavern. And Rhaenyra's like, welcome everyone. Only one of you will make it out of here, but that one will no longer be starving to death. And the future will be so bright, you'll have to wear shades. And everyone's like, sunglasses are great. That's cool. And I could go for some bread. That would be a nice change of pace from eating rat stew every day in their locked-down Citadel fortress that we just seemingly walked out of together hand in hand. And so she's like, all right, well, let the initiation begin. And I'm out. So she runs away to go look in her bat cave window, looking down on all the people who are about to be burned to crispy little bacon cinders. And the dragon just approaches. And it's like, you know what? You're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not, what? Screw it. You're all going to die. It's just, rah! And people are screaming and running around and burning alive. Other people are running behind rocks and stuff. And I feel like it's some weird Dungeons and Dragons episode where you're going to die if this creature gets a line of sight to do its breath weapon on you. So you have to go behind every pillar and every stone and pebble. You got to pick people up in front of you and just move with them in front of you, a la Deadpool and Wolverine style. Only makes sense if you've seen the movie. And you just have to do stuff like that. So I feel like that's what we saw. It was a very ridiculous. You could have thrown Benny Hill music on it. Now, I enjoyed watching it, but it was pretty ridiculous that any of them survived. And then the whole premise of the winner, the guy who actually did survive, his name was, what is the dude's name? Where's my notes? Oh, come on. I have a note. Ulf. No, it's not Ulf, it's Hugh. Hugh is the one that survives this first one. Because the dragon is right nose to nose with him, and he's like, fuck it, if I'm going to die anyway, I'm at least going to scream at this stupid dragon. And him screaming at the dragon made the dragon go, yeah, you're it. Get on, you rascal, you. And that was it. He just yelled at him. He was just like, "Wah!" And the dragon was like, shit, yeah. You're my mount. And I was listening to the official podcast afterward by Ryan Condal, the showrunner, who put all this together. And he was like, yeah, well, we like to think of it like a dog, you know? In a pack situation, you have an alpha. And so he became the alpha in that moment by screaming at a dragon. All right, if that's the way they saw it, then that's the way they saw it, but it's a pretty ridiculous premise to me. I'm glad he got the dragon. I'm glad he didn't get burned. I actually think the character is pretty interesting in the little clips that we've seen of him thus far. And I love his beard. But that was just such a weird way to win a dragon over, just like screaming at it. And then we get an even weirder way with with Ulf, who is like running for his life. He's been claiming Targaryen blood in the inns, get free drinks and food for a while now. And he didn't even want to do this until he was pressured by his friends to do it. So he shows up, sees everyone getting burnt. He runs away and hides. He wanders and accidentally steps on a dragon egg. His foot goes into it, all gooey style, so you can't even make an omelet from it anymore. And let me just tell you, just off the cuff, dragon omelets are the best omelets. It is widely known in Westeros. You put a little bit of milk in there, throw some chives. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's the best. All right, so he suddenly realizes, oh, shit, I'm in a dragon lair, like another area of a dragon lair. And then the dragon starts moving behind him. This is Silverwing. And so Vermithor was the second most powerful dragon that Hugh screamed at and is submitted to him. Silverwing, however, is just, one of those rascally dragons that hasn't found the right rider yet. And so why not choose the one that shits his pants when he sees you? Because that's what he did. He fell on his back. He was crawling back, and the dragon was just like, you're the one. Hop on. You're my rider. You smell like shit. It's just so ridiculous. I want a goddamn dragon, is what I'm getting at. And if I have to shit my pants, I'll do it. If I just have to scream at them, I'll do it. Give me a dragon. I really, really want one now. I don't know. I like the idea that they're getting, these riderless dragons, riders, and it's nice that they're all bastards, but they're still all connected through blood and stuff. And it's not like they're going to have any legitimate claim to the throne. There would have to be some wild cataclysm for them to even come up in the order of things. But you've got a built-in loyalty base with them. Now they have dragons, and so they can back you up. And let's be honest, these are basically red shirts. These are the people that go on Star Trek shows that are killed every episode because they're just not important people. That's the kind of person you want on Dragonback when Vagar's the one staring you down. You want the guy you don't care about flying his dragon into that breath weapon and you standing back and waiting to just pounce on his eyeball or something. That's your strategy, tips and tricks. Take a note, Rhaenyra. So we've got dragons now, which is dope. We cut over to Daemon, who I was convinced was going insane. But I think really is just working through the trauma that he has experienced with his family. And the setting of Harrenhal is just being the delivery device of working through that trauma. Because this latest dream vision of his brother, who's all eaten up and torn up, and he's like, are you sure you want this damn crown? Look what it did to me, dude. And Daemon was like, you know what? You got a good point, because you look like shit. And you died horribly. I could see through your cheek into your teeth, and we don't have dental plans. So it was a very, very disgusting view that I had most of your life, and certainly at the end. And it's just ridiculous. This guy should be... There's no reason you would ever want to be on that throne. It just kills people. If not by the Kingsguard turning Kingslayer, or a family member turning against you, or some young upstart killing you. It's just, you're marked for death. Your best bet is to be the regent, or the, what do they call him? He's the king consort. You want to be the consort, because then if the queen or king dies, then you step in a provisional state and no one wants to take you down. And then all the different families come and vouch for you and stuff. So that's the best case scenario. So that's where he is right now. I think Daemon's going to realize, you know what? I don't really want to be king. I just want power and I want respect. And I thought that I could get it by usurping my wife slash niece. They're Targaryens. But no, instead, I don't think I want that. I think I'm just going to go to battle and I'm going to kick Aemon's ass with my dragon. I think that's what his plan is now. So he goes and he talks to Oscar Tully, the new Lord of Paramount. And look, this kid, he's like, look, the only reason why you even want to talk to me is because my dad died. You're just waiting him out to die. And I have all my bannermen here, and they don't like you. They don't like the rumors that are spread around that you're killing children in order to get your wife back on the throne. That's not how we live. That's not how we roll. We're not okay with it. And so this kid knows that Daemon needs him, and he's leveraging what his own bannermen think about Daemon with his own position, knowing that he does really want to back Rhaenyra because she is supposed to be in charge. It's the Hightowers that have made everything up and made everything horrible. So he's like, okay, well, look, you're a piece of shit, and I need you to apologize. If you do that, then we'll go. And Daemon's just like, you mother... Okay, all right. Yeah, I did some things I'm not proud of, so let's go to war. And everyone's like, okay. And then the kid was like, you know what? But that's not good enough. We need someone to take the fall. This guy that you had start a war between two families, we're going to have to kill him. And Daemon, you're going to have to do it. And if you do it, then we're your swords. And Daemon didn't even bat an eyelash. He was messed up when he struck the blow. The dude was just like, Daemon, tell them, no, I only served you loyally. And he just cut him down with his badass Valyrian steel. And you saw in his eyes, he was like, shit, I didn't want to have to do that. But it's like one dude or an army. You got to go for the army. So I thought Oscar Tully did a brilliant job leveraging his position in order to not only follow through with the oath that his father, ultimately his grandfather, had sworn that the Riverlands would go on the side of Rhaenyra, but also he saved face with his own bannermen by making Daemon do what he did. It's a brilliant tactic, and it worked flawlessly. And now Daemon, he's sort of come to terms. And I think it's an important step for him as a character, because this is part of a character arc that I think we're going to see fully at the end of the season or at the beginning of the next season, which I'm actually pretty excited for. All right, so then we get this really great moment between Jace and Rhaenyra. Jace, as we all remember, is a bastard son. His dad is Sir Harwin Strong, and he was killed by his brother. But, Rhaenyra was young when she was fooling around. You gotta sow your oats, sow your wild oats, right? And so the result is Jace. And so he's like, look, if all these bastards can come up and claim dragons, that means, one, we're not gods, and then it means that am I the next heir? Because I'm a bastard. And if they're all bastards and I'm a bastard and we all have dragons, who's to say that they're not going to be next in throne? In the line to be the king. Rhaenyra, his mother, has straight up said, you are my heir. You are going to take over the Iron Throne. And now he's like totally second guessing it. And this is actually a departure, because in the novels, I heard that he was 100% in with the bastard lottery. And in this series, he's not. And I actually conceptually prefer it this way, because it does genuinely put him in a precarious position when it comes to hereditary titles. He is a bastard, And if a couple kings back had a bastard and one of them is either Ulf or Hugh, well, then they're in line before him, just by the way it goes. So I think it's very, very interesting to see his genuine concern, and the fact that they had to fight the fact that he didn't have white hair. Rhaenyra fought endlessly when she was in King's Landing about this. Took a lot of shit for it. And now it's all going to surface again, and all because there's all these other bastards riding their own dragons. Let's not forget Castle Aaron up in the Eyrie, and the young princes and Rhaena leaving. And Rhaena is like, I know there's another big dragon around here. My brothers have these little baby dragons, and I don't have a dragon. I'm going to go hunting for this dragon, and I'm going to try to claim this dragon. I don't remember anything about this dragon, but she's got to get it, right? Like, she has to get it. Just have her poop her pants and scream in its face. She'll get the dragon. I want her to be, in that sort of 11th hour when dragons are dying left and right. Vhagar is on the brink of death, but he's still fighting tooth and nail. And everyone's questioning whether they're even going to survive this. I want Rhaena to come in with the dragon that she picked up in the Eyrie, to come swooping in at 0 hour and be the one to kill Vhagar. How dope would that be? Give this girl a medal, make her a commander, like she, on her own, with no one else, just her own ambition, sought and tamed a dragon. Yes, I want her to be a hero. I don't know what's going to happen because I don't remember, but that would be a great ending in my personal opinion. All right, we also have a really great moment where Larys is pushing the Grand Maester to force Aegon to get better and do a bunch of like training, physical, what do they call this? What is that called? It's not PT, it's rehabilitative exercises. I can't remember what it's called. But in any case, he's like walking him around, and it's, of course, when you have scar tissue, it tightens up. And so the more you move it, it feels like it's ripping your skin apart again. And so he is experiencing that all through his side. And it's got to be the most unimaginable pain, because it's basically like 4th degree burns all over his body that he's like walking through at this point. And the Grand Maester doesn't want to do it, but Larys is insisting, because Larys has to have Aegon alive in order to maintain his position in the castle. I don't think he's doing it for Aegon's health and welfare. He just wants to ensure that he maintains his Master Secret's role, and he needs the king to be alive to do it because he's the one that put him in that position. Aemond hates Larys, hates him, thinks he's a little worm. And let's be fair, he's a freak. Like, he's a little weird, freaky guy. Like, they all exist. They have lives and families. They need love too, but I'm just saying he's kind of messed up. All right, so Larys is doing it all for himself, but it does seem like he's doing it on behalf of the king, and so everyone's willing to go along with it, even the king himself. And if Aegon survives, oh boy, is he gonna be grateful to Larys. I mean, we have 1 episode left, and it's gonna be a banger, like a dragon war episode. So who knows if that storyline's even gonna have any fruit in the long run. What else? So Vermithor is claimed by Hugh. Ulf claims Silverwing. That's when Ulf is just like holding on for dear life as Silverwing is just like flying all over King's Landing. And then Aemond is like seeing the dragon, like, how dare another dragon fly in my kingdom? And so he gets on Vhagar and goes flying after him. And then he sees Syrax, Vermithor, and Silverwing kicking it with Rhaenyra, just mad dogging him. And he's like, yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back. You look busy. I'll come back later. It's just the best. I love this show so much. I mean, it's great writing. You have silly scenes every once in a while, but it all, in the weird mythology that George R.R. Martin has created, it all kind of makes sense in its own weird way. And I really love how the showrunner, the writers and directors and actors are stretching their legs with the material. You could take it very historically and just do point A to point B, but they're coming up with really interesting character directions and creative reasons for history to unfold in the way that it does unfold in the books or in the book. So it's very fascinating to me how much creative freedom is granted and that it's working. Because we saw when David Benioff Weiss was doing it was someone and D.B. Weiss. I can't remember the other guy that was doing it. The Game of Thrones series. But as soon as they got past the end of the book, they shit the bed. They didn't know how to do it. And they were stretching their creative fingers and toes, doing the best that they could. It just wasn't good enough. And they were trying to wrap it up too quickly so that they could go take a job with Star Wars that would then just fire their asses a second later. So they just kind of got screwed out of the whole situation. Pardon me. And so to see Game of Thrones go from showing how extrapolating on George R.R. Martin's work failed for like 3-4 seasons to seeing it just succeed season after season in this series. I mean, it gives me so much hope for all of these other spin-off shows that are going to be put out there. I just can't wait. I'm going to eat them all up because this shit is gold. It's just so entertaining, so well written, and so well acted. I'm really excited. And again, we have one episode left, so let me sort of go through my highs and lows here. So my favorite part of this episode was probably that end sequence, watching Vhagar fly toward Dragonstone and Rhaenyra just waiting. Just like, do you dare? Do you dare? And then Aemond freaking out and like doing everything he can. Like, Vhagar, please don't do this. No, come on. Vhagar, please listen. And pulling him back to King's Landing. My least favorite, it had to be the way that these bastards got their dragons. I thought it was so ridiculous and just goofy. Like, Ulf literally shit his pants and the dragon like chose him for it. What? And you can just like yell at a dragon and it's just like, ooh, you're an alpha. Shut up. But okay, so that's my least favorite. What I hope for the next episode, I want to see dragons die. I mean, as far as the concept of dragons in George R.R. Martin's universe, I know where we're going to go. And that is where there are none for a very long time. And so I like the dragons a lot. And I like the really big old dragons. So I don't want to see any dragons die. But it's the only way to win this war. You have to kill Vhagar, which sucks because Aemon's just such a prick that he got Vhagar. Oh, it drives me nuts. So you got to kill him in order to win this war. And you have to take out Aemond. And that sucks too, because with a little bit of good parenting, he probably would have been a good kid. But he's not. So I really want to see a bloody dragon battle next episode to cap off this whole season. And then we'll just get more sorrow and more death and more dragons being killed in subsequent seasons after this. But we have to have a big battle on screen because we haven't gotten it yet. And we've had all this buildup of Daemon getting an army. And finally we got the army. And Rhaenyra doing everything she can to get riders for these dragons. Now we got the riders. So let's go. Let's fucking go right now. All right. So that's my thought. Again, I think these episodes are perfect. Even when I think, there's a little bit of sort of silliness attached to them, it's so worth it. So, 5 out of 5 Evilive for me, 100%. All day, every day. It's great. All right. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Do you buy the bastards being able to get these dragons? Do you think that the dragons should have to have a rider to follow the other dragons into battle? That's another thing. And do you think we're going to get that big final battle that I know I'm looking for, but I think most people are looking for? We want war. Some of the greatest episodes of the first few seasons of Game of Thrones were those penultimate episodes, which always had like massive battles in them, and we didn't get it. So let's fingers crossed. Let's hope we get it this time. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like it or not, evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.